What if I told you that the very moment you're watching this isn't a coincidence? You didn't land on this video by chance, this is a divine appointment. Every step, every moment of isolation, every time you felt different, it has all led you right here, to this exact message. You see, if you've always felt like you didn't quite belong, like you're walking a different path than those around you, it's because you're a chosen one. You've been set apart by God, called to a higher purpose, and this moment is part of that journey. But here's the thing, being chosen means your spirit is different, more sensitive, more attuned to the world around you. It's why large crowds feel overwhelming, why you sometimes struggle to connect in group settings, and why you feel more at peace in solitude. This isn't just a personality trait, it's a spiritual calling. Today, we're going to dive deep into why chosen ones like you find it challenging to be around many people, and more importantly, how this feeling is a powerful sign of your divine purpose. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why your discomfort in crowds isn't a flaw, it's a signal from God that you've been set apart for something greater. You'll walk away with clarity, strength, and a renewed sense of purpose, ready to embrace who you truly are. If this message is resonating with you, I want you to claim it right now. Comment below, "I am chosen for this," and make sure to subscribe for more powerful insights on your spiritual journey. You're not alone in this, and it's time to step fully into your calling. Chosen ones are marked by an intense spiritual sensitivity. This isn't something you can easily turn off or ignore, it's woven into the very fabric of who you are. This sensitivity manifests in ways that might not always be visible to the world but are deeply felt by you. You may notice it in how you can sense the emotional and spiritual atmosphere of a room before anyone even speaks, or how your spirit picks up on subtle energies and intentions that others overlook. One of the reasons chosen ones struggle in large crowds is that they are far more attuned to the spiritual realm. Your heightened awareness allows you to perceive the unspoken tensions, unresolved emotions, and hidden motives of others. You might walk into a gathering and feel the weight of everyone's energy pressing down on you, leaving you drained and exhausted. What might seem like a casual, social event to others could feel overwhelming and burdensome to you because you're absorbing the spiritual vibrations of everyone present. This sensitivity isn't a flaw, it's a gift. It allows you to see beneath the surface of life and situations, connecting with a deeper reality. But with this gift comes responsibility. In large groups, your spirit can become overburdened by the collective energy, and you may feel overwhelmed by the sheer volume of thoughts, emotions, and unspoken intentions swirling around you. This is why crowded environments often feel suffocating to chosen ones. You're constantly processing spiritual signals from the world around you, and in big gatherings, that process is amplified. Think about how Jesus was spiritually aware of everything happening around him. He could feel the emotional and spiritual burdens of the people he encountered. In the book of Luke 5 verse 16, we see that Jesus often withdrew to quiet places to pray and reconnect with his Father. Why? Because even he, with his divine calling, needed moments of solitude to recharge and ground himself spiritually. His sensitivity to the spiritual realm required him to take breaks from the crowds to restore his strength. As chosen ones, we can learn from this example. For many of you, this spiritual sensitivity explains why large gatherings make you feel restless, uneasy, or disconnected. It's not just the noise or the superficial conversations, it's the overwhelming energy. You may find it hard to engage in small talk because your spirit craves deeper connections, meaningful interactions that are often missing in crowded spaces. This also explains why you're more comfortable in small, intimate settings or even in solitude. In these moments of quiet, your spirit can rest, reflect, and connect deeply with God. Psalm 46 verse 10 reminds us to be still and know that I am God. In the stillness, we find clarity and strength. For chosen ones, these moments of stillness are essential for maintaining spiritual alignment. It's in the quiet that you recharge, reset, and gain the insight necessary to continue your journey. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by the crowd, know that it's not a weakness or something wrong with you. It's a reflection of your spiritual awareness and sensitivity. Take it as a sign to step back, breathe, and reconnect with your divine source. This heightened spiritual sensitivity is part of your calling and one of the reasons why you are set apart. Embrace it as a powerful gift, and don't feel guilty about needing time alone to recover from the intensity of group settings. The aura and intensity of chosen ones. As a chosen one, you carry a unique and powerful aura that sets you apart from those around you. Whether you realize it or not, your presence has a profound effect on the people and environments you enter. This intensity is not just about your outward appearance or personality, it's something much deeper. It's spiritual. Your energy resonates at a different frequency, and this can make others feel both drawn to you and, at the same time, unsettled by you. The aura of a chosen one is like a spiritual beacon. People may not fully understand why, but they sense that there's something special about you. They may find themselves captivated by your wisdom, strength, or the peace that radiates from you. This is because the light within you, given by God, shines brightly. Matthew 5 verse 14 says, "You are the light of the world." A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. As a chosen one, your light cannot be hidden, and people are drawn to it. However, this light and intensity also come with a paradox. While many are drawn to you, others may feel uncomfortable or even intimidated by your presence. Why? Because your very being challenges their insecurities, hidden fears, and unaddressed emotions. When you walk into a room, the spiritual atmosphere shifts, and this can make others uneasy. It's not something you're doing intentionally, but the depth of your presence can evoke feelings in others that they may not want to confront. This intensity can lead to a sense of isolation. While you long for deep, meaningful connections, you may find that many people struggle to meet you at the level you desire. Surface-level conversations and shallow interactions feel unfulfilling to you because your spirit craves authenticity and depth. You see through the superficial and are often left feeling disconnected in large group settings where others are more comfortable engaging at a surface level. This can make it challenging to build the kind of relationships you desire. Consider the biblical example of Moses. He carried a divine aura, especially after his encounters with God on Mount Sinai. In Exodus 34 verses 29 to 30, it says, "When Moses came down from Mount Sinai, his face was radiant because he had spoken with the Lord. The Israelites were afraid to come near him." Moses' intense spiritual experience was so powerful that it physically manifested, and people were both in awe and afraid. Your spiritual intensity, like Moses, can have a similar effect on people, leaving them in admiration but also keeping them at a distance. The very qualities that make you special, your wisdom, depth, and spiritual insight, are the same ones that set you apart. It can feel like a double-edged sword. On one hand, you can connect deeply with those who are ready to meet you where you are. On the other hand, your intensity can overwhelm those who aren't prepared for the kind of authenticity you embody. For this reason, chosen ones often feel more comfortable in solitude or in small, intimate groups where their depth can be fully appreciated. In these settings, your essence is recognized and valued, and you don't have to dim your light to make others comfortable. Your aura is a gift. It is a reflection of the divine presence within you, and while it may sometimes set you apart from others, it is also the very thing that draws the right people to you. Embrace your intensity as part of your calling, and remember that not everyone will understand or be able to handle it, and that's okay. You are here to walk a different path, one that requires you to stand in your light, even if it means standing alone at times. Why chosen ones prefer solitude? For chosen ones, solitude is not just a preference, it's a necessity. It is in these moments of quiet that chosen ones find the peace, clarity, and spiritual strength they need to navigate their unique path. While the world around them may be filled with noise, distractions, and shallow connections, chosen ones understand that solitude provides something the crowds never can: true spiritual connection and alignment with God. Being in the presence of many people often feels overwhelming for chosen ones because of their heightened spiritual sensitivity. The collective energy of a crowd can cloud their connection with the divine, leaving them feeling drained and disconnected. In solitude, however, they can hear the still, small voice of God more clearly. 1 Kings 19 verse 12 reminds us that God's voice wasn't in the wind, earthquake, or fire, but in a gentle whisper. In solitude, chosen ones are able to quiet the noise of the world and listen to that whisper. One of the key reasons why chosen ones prefer solitude is the need for spiritual recharge. Imagine a cup that, over time, becomes empty as it pours into others. Chosen ones often spend much of their energy supporting, guiding, and uplifting those around them. Whether through emotional support or spiritual guidance, they constantly give of themselves. Without moments of solitude, they risk spiritual burnout. Solitude allows them to refill their cup, ensuring they remain spiritually grounded and able to fulfill their purpose. This solitude is not about rejecting people or avoiding social settings. It's about preserving the authenticity of their spiritual walk. When chosen ones are alone, they are not escaping from others, they are retreating to reflect, pray, and strengthen their connection with God. They understand that in these quiet moments, they gain the insight, strength, and clarity needed to continue their journey. Psalm 62 verse 1 says, "Truly my soul finds rest in God, my salvation comes from Him." In solitude, chosen ones find the rest that their soul craves. Furthermore, solitude offers chosen ones the opportunity for deep self-reflection. In a world filled with distractions, it's easy to lose sight of one's true purpose and calling. But chosen ones are on a journey of self-discovery, one that requires regular moments of introspection. It is in solitude that they can examine their hearts, reflect on their actions, and realign with their divine mission. They can look back on the steps they've taken and prepare for the path ahead. Consider how Jesus, during his ministry, frequently sought solitude. Matthew 14 verse 23 tells us, after he had dismissed the crowds, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. Even Jesus, with all the demands of his calling, understood the importance of withdrawing from the crowd to spend time alone with his Father. His moments of solitude were essential for maintaining his spiritual strength and focus. As chosen ones, we must follow his example, recognizing that time alone is crucial for fulfilling our purpose. It's important to understand that choosing solitude doesn't mean chosen ones don't desire connection or community. In fact, they often long for deep, meaningful relationships. But the depth they crave is rarely found in large gatherings or surface-level interactions. In solitude, they gain the strength and clarity they need to navigate their relationships with intention and authenticity. Solitude for the chosen one is not a withdrawal from life, it's an essential part of it. It is in these quiet moments that they recharge, reflect, and reconnect with God's purpose for their lives. So, if you find yourself longing for moments of peace and quiet, know that this is not just a personal preference, it's a spiritual necessity. Embrace your need for solitude, knowing that it is a vital part of your journey as a chosen one. Emotional and spiritual energy boundaries. One of the most essential practices for chosen ones is establishing emotional and spiritual energy boundaries. As a chosen one, you are naturally empathetic and spiritually attuned to the energies around you. This heightened sensitivity means that you often absorb the emotions, intentions, and even the burdens of others without realizing it. If these boundaries are not set, it can lead to emotional exhaustion, spiritual burnout, and a loss of personal clarity. Chosen ones are often seen as the spiritual anchors in their communities, families, or friendships. People naturally seek your guidance, support, and wisdom, whether consciously or subconsciously. However, constantly giving of yourself can drain your own spiritual energy. Proverbs 4 verse 23 reminds us, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. In guarding your heart, you are setting a boundary to protect your spiritual well-being, ensuring that you can continue to serve from a place of strength rather than depletion. Establishing boundaries begins with recognizing that your energy is sacred. Not every situation or person deserves access to it. It's essential to discern where you are giving your energy and whether that exchange is balanced. If you find yourself in social situations where the energy is predominantly negative or draining, you must be willing to step back and protect your peace. This may mean saying no to events that leave you spiritually depleted or limiting your time in environments that are emotionally taxing. For chosen ones, the call to help others is strong, but boundaries are necessary to ensure you don't lose yourself in the process. Setting boundaries isn't about being selfish, it's about ensuring that you have the spiritual and emotional capacity to continue fulfilling your purpose. Even Jesus set boundaries. He frequently withdrew from the crowds and spent time in solitude, recharging his spirit before returning to minister to others. Mark 6 verse 31 tells us that after a long day of teaching, Jesus said to his disciples, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest." If Jesus, in his divine mission, needed time to rest and recharge, how much more do we as chosen ones? Learning to say no is a vital part of establishing boundaries. Chosen ones are often prone to overextending themselves, believing that they need to be available to everyone at all times. However, protecting your emotional and spiritual energy means discerning when to say no, not out of guilt, but out of wisdom. Your time and energy are valuable, and you must prioritize the moments that nourish your spirit and bring you closer to God. In addition to emotional boundaries, spiritual boundaries are equally important. As someone deeply connected to the spiritual realm, you must be mindful of the spiritual environments you enter. Be cautious of the energies you allow into your space, whether through people, activities, or even media. 1 Corinthians 15 verse 33 warns, "Do not be misled, bad company corrupts good character." This scripture serves as a reminder that the spiritual atmosphere around us influences our inner state. As a chosen one, it's vital to maintain an environment that uplifts and strengthens your spirit. Cultivating a routine of self-care and reflection is a necessary part of boundary setting. Take time daily to check in with yourself emotionally and spiritually. Ask yourself, how do I feel after spending time with this person or in this environment? If the answer consistently points to spiritual exhaustion, it's time to reassess those relationships or activities. Engage in practices that refill your energy, whether through prayer, meditation, or spending time in nature. These practices not only protect your spirit but also help you maintain clarity in your calling. Boundaries are not barriers to connection but tools for maintaining the strength and purity of your purpose. As a chosen one, you must guard your emotional and spiritual energy with care, knowing that you are called to do great work, but that work requires balance and discernment. Setting healthy boundaries allows you to continue walking your divine path without burning out. Embrace the strength that comes from knowing when to give and when to step back, so that you can stay aligned with God's purpose for your life. Spiritual warfare and the chosen one's journey. Chosen ones are no strangers to spiritual warfare. This battle isn't just external, it often takes place within, where the forces of light and darkness contend for your soul, your purpose, and your peace. As someone called by God, you are a beacon of light in a world filled with darkness, and this very light makes you a target for spiritual attacks. The intensity of these struggles is not a sign of weakness or failure but a testament to your divine calling and the enemy's fear of the power you carry. Spiritual warfare manifests in many ways. Sometimes, it shows up as conflict in your relationships, where people around you seem to be in constant opposition or misunderstanding of you. Other times, it's an internal battle, a relentless sense of self-doubt, fear, or temptation trying to pull you away from your purpose. The enemy knows that chosen ones carry a unique assignment from God, and he works overtime to distract, discourage, and derail you from walking in that calling. Ephesians 6 verse 12 reminds us, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." This means the battles you face are not merely earthly conflicts but deeply spiritual ones, designed to hinder you from fulfilling the divine purpose placed upon your life. The weight of this battle can feel overwhelming, especially when you are surrounded by people who don't understand the depth of what you're going through. In large groups, this warfare can become even more pronounced. When you're around many people, you're not only dealing with your own spiritual struggles but also the collective energies, spirits, and intentions of those around you. Crowded environments often amplify the spiritual warfare because you are exposed to multiple forces at play, forces that might not always align with God's will for your life. This is why chosen ones often feel drained or uneasy in such settings. The atmosphere becomes a battlefield, and your spirit, attuned to these dynamics, senses the unseen spiritual clashes happening all around. But here's the truth: you are not fighting this battle alone. God has equipped you with everything you need to stand firm in the face of these attacks. Ephesians 6 verse 13 says, "Therefore put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground." You have the armor of God, truth, righteousness, faith, salvation, and the Word of God, as your defense against the enemy. This is your spiritual protection in moments when the battle feels the fiercest. As a chosen one, part of your journey is learning to recognize spiritual warfare for what it is, a distraction from your divine purpose, and to confront it with spiritual tools. Prayer becomes your greatest weapon, not just a ritual but a lifeline. In prayer, you are engaging in direct communication with God, seeking His guidance, strength, and protection. The Bible tells us in James 4 verse 7, "Submit yourselves, then, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." When you stand firm in God's strength, the enemy has no choice but to retreat. In addition to prayer, fasting and meditation on God's Word are powerful tools in spiritual warfare. These practices not only draw you closer to God but also sharpen your spiritual discernment, allowing you to recognize the tactics of the enemy and respond with wisdom and strength. The journey of a chosen one is not an easy one. There will be trials, and there will be battles, both seen and unseen. But every challenge you face is a reminder of the greatness within you and the mission you've been assigned. The more intense the warfare, the more profound your calling. Spiritual warfare is a part of the chosen one's journey, but it's not a battle fought in isolation. You have the full backing of God, His angels, and the spiritual tools He has provided. So, when the battles come, and they will, stand firm in the knowledge that you are equipped to not just survive but to triumph. Romans 8 verse 37 declares, "No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through Him who loved us." Stand in your authority, knowing that victory is already yours. As we come to the end of this journey, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've uncovered about why chosen ones often cannot be around a lot of people. From your heightened spiritual sensitivity to the powerful aura you carry, it's clear that your path is unlike any other. You've been set apart for a divine purpose, and with that comes unique challenges that require boundaries, solitude, and spiritual awareness. We've discussed how your energy affects others in profound ways, sometimes drawing people to you and other times pushing them away. You've seen how large gatherings can feel overwhelming due to the spiritual warfare that intensifies in such environments. But remember, the intensity you carry is not a burden, it's a gift. It's a sign of your divine calling, and while it may lead to feelings of isolation, it's also what makes you capable of fulfilling your unique purpose. Solitude is not a retreat, but a strategic choice for replenishment and reconnection with God. It's in these quiet moments that you recharge, realign, and gain the strength to continue your journey. And through spiritual boundaries, you guard your heart, ensuring that your energy remains sacred and aligned with God's will. As a chosen one, you are called to a higher level of spiritual awareness, and with that comes responsibility. But remember this, you are never alone. God walks beside you every step of the way, guiding you, protecting you, and empowering you to stand firm in your purpose. If this message resonated with you, leave a comment saying, "I am chosen." Share this video with others who may feel the same way, and subscribe to join a community of like-minded individuals walking the same path of faith. Until next time, stay grounded in your calling, knowing that God has set you apart for something truly special.